Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my SL55 and my C63. So if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. I really hope you enjoy it. And if you like this kind of content with two AMG Mercedes and a Ferrari 360 Modena, it'd be great to have you as a subscriber. So in this video, we're going to do a comparison between the two engines in these two amazing AMG cars. Just a little bit of history. I've had this 2002 SL55 AMG for about a year and 4 months now. Bought it in late 2019, and it's a bit of a weekend car now. It was my daily driver for a while, but now it is very much a weekend car. It is absolutely fantastic to drive. It's a beautiful looking car with the silver paintwork and the contrasting red interior, and I love driving this car. It's so comfortable. It's a perfect cruiser. The C63 I've had for about 7 or 8 months now, got it mid last year. This is now my daily driver. I previously had a 507 series C63, which I unfortunately sold and immediately regretted. So when the opportunity came to purchase a replacement, I jumped at the chance. Now this one is a beautiful example. It's in a very rare color, mystic blue, has a beautiful white leather interior. If you click on the pop-out banners up here, you can see my playlists for both the SL and the C63. So the engines in these cars are both AMG engines. What that means is that they're manufactured at the AMG plant in Affalterbach in Germany, and they have some similarities but quite a lot of differences. So in this video we're going to go through some of the similarities and some of the differences between these engines. So this is what many people would call the legendary M113K engine. Legendary because many people believe this to be one of the best V8 AMG engines that has ever been made, and its longevity has shown that to be the case. So this engine originally started life as the M113 engine, which was a V8 5-litre engine that was used in such cars as the CL500, the SL500, and other cars of that era with the 500 designation. The engine first came out in 1998, but it was a little bit low in power. It was about 300 horsepower. So AMG took this engine and stroked it out to 5.4 litres, and that engine was available in both a standard naturally aspirated version, or in this version, the K standing for compressor, which has a supercharger on the top. So this engine in the compressor variant M113K, as in the SL55, produces just under 500 horsepower, I think 493 horsepower, but it has a mighty 700 Newton meters of torque thanks to that supercharger bolted on the top there. This is actually quite a simple engine in the sense that it only has single overhead camshafts and it has no variable valve timing. But it does have in each cylinder 3 valves and 2 spark plugs. So I think this engine has really become quite well regarded in the Mercedes community. It was used in most of the cars with the designation 55 from AMG, so things like the CL55, the SL55 have all had these compressor engines, and it has gained a reputation for being extremely reliable. There are only a few things that tend to cause a problem, things like the supercharger pulley bearing, which can wear out, but that's quite simple to replace. But apart from that, it's an extremely reliable, very tough engine, and it's great performance in all of these AMG cars. The exhaust sound is great. It's got a rich, fruity exhaust note, and it can be very easily improved with an aftermarket exhaust. So in the C63 here we have probably what is equally legendary to the SL, the M156 6.2 litre V8 engine. Now this is probably the last of the great naturally aspirated engines that Mercedes will ever produce. After this engine ceased its production, Mercedes moved to the 4-litre twin turbocharged unit, which is still a fantastic engine, but doesn't have quite the character and soul of this beautiful naturally aspirated unit. So this engine was introduced in about 2007 in such cars as the E63. It was a real departure for Mercedes because it was the first AMG engine to be built from the ground up in Affalterbach by AMG. This engine is used in all the AMG cars with the 63 designation, and it's a historical reason why they use 63. It's after one of the older models of Mercedes that had a 6.3 litre engine in it, and they've carried that forward, even though the exact capacity of this is 6,208 or 6,204 or something. So this is a little bit more of a complex engine in the sense that it has twin overhead camshafts with variable valve timing, but it only has one spark plug per cylinder. It's a beautiful high revving engine which redlines at about 7,200 RPM. It produces in its various guises anywhere between 460 brake horsepower and into the 600s for some of the tuned cars. It also produces 600 Newton meters of torque. This engine is used in the C63. It's also used in other 63 models, and a variation of this engine, the M159, is actually used in the Mercedes SLS. When the performance pack for the C63 came out, the P31 in about 2011, the engine was slightly upgraded to include some of the parts from the SLS version, things like forged pistons and forged connecting rods, so much lighter internal components. This engine had a bit of a rocky start because there was one fairly serious defect in the original design connected to the head bolts, which had a tendency to snap at the top due to their design, and that would obviously allow water into the cylinders, and it could potentially hydrolock the car. So after 2011 they used a strengthened head bolt, and so engines after the number which I will put on the screen here are free from that particular defect. There have been a few ongoing problems with this engine, one of which is premature wear on the camshafts. That's due to a difference in materials between the valve lifters and the camshaft itself, and also the variable valve timing mechanisms can be prone to failure and also to give a bit of a rattle on startup. But those things aside, this particular engine has really proved itself to be, again, almost as legendary as the M113K. The thing I love about this engine is that its willingness to rev. It's a very light, very fast, very high revving engine. It's thrilling to drive. And the best part of it, of course, is that it makes the best exhaust sound there is out there. And here are some examples. So just a few final thoughts. The M113K obviously has bags of torque thanks to that supercharger. It's a great cruising engine. You can put your foot down at any speed and any gear on the freeway and it will just take off. It's only got the 5-speed automatic gearbox, but quite frankly, that's all it needs. The M156, it's a different character. It's much more free revving, high revving, a little bit more highly strung maybe, but still a fantastic engine, and it makes a fantastic exhaust sound. So both of these engines, I'm very pleased to say I've got both of these legendary engines in my two AMG cars. So thanks very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's really interesting for me to learn a bit more about these engines and do a comparison between this engine, which is really legendary, as I've explained, and its successor, which is also turned into something of a legendary engine. Really interesting to do the comparison. I really hope you guys found it interesting and useful as well. Let me know in the comments, do you prefer the M113K or the M156? Be interested to know your views. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to smash that like. It'd be great to have you as a subscriber and hit that notification bell. You can follow me on Instagram down here. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.